What is up, guys? I hope you're well. My name is Mark and today is Subscriber Sunday. Subscriber Sunday is where we take your stories from the r/Daddy Cringe subreddit. Yes, it's still named that, I am sorry. And we read them to the world. So if you would like your stories in one of these episodes, don't forget to post your stories on r/Daddy Cringe. Also today we've got some stories being read by our community. They're going to be playing some of the EMs, the EKs, that kind of thing. These will be towards the back half of today's video, so I hope you enjoy those too. If you're new here, please consider hitting that like, that subscribe, and maybe that notification bell. And let's get straight into today's stories. Much love, guys. Our first story is from Paranoia Heim. Ages twin Karens on a bus. I have many stories to share, and I watch a few different readers on YouTube. Mark Narration / Daddy Cringe is amongst my absolute favourites, so I decided it's time to share one of my go-to entitled people stories here. Thank you very much. I was taking the bus one day and it started to fill up pretty quickly. I was in one of the seats, not really paying attention to who got on the bus. Two women, seemingly in their late 50s to early 60s, had boarded at some point and found themselves right in front of me. Now I was in my early 20s, so I was clearly younger than they were. They had greying hair and their skin had some very mild skin damage. Truthfully, they looked really good for their ages, if they were indeed where I placed them on the scale. On top of their healthy looks, these ladies were in full-on, high-end running gear. I'm not going to assume they were running, but I highly doubt many people spend that much money on running gear, get fully decked out, and hang out with a similarly dressed friend to do much else than run/jog walk. And I'm not talking simply yoga pants and a sports top. They had the jackets with the little butt flap, fanny packs, water bottle holsters and everything. To be honest, the first thing I noted about them when they stood before me was that they looked super healthy for the amount of age they appeared to have. Any favourable opinion I had of them came to an abrupt end, however, when one said, in quite an obvious attempt to feign private conversation, while speaking in full volume fit for a fighting match announcer, "Ugh, I can't believe young people these days. They don't even get up when older people than them get on the bus to offer their senior a seat." Now I really wanted to say something to the Karen, but I am not a confrontational sort. In fact, I am somewhat terrified of it. However, as a huge proponent of not judging a book by its cover, I seethed inside. They didn't know the first thing about any of the young people on this bus, not to mention, they looked dressed for a freaking marathon. If they can run, they can stand. It all culminated in my mind with two words: ageist pricks. The plural coming into play as a friend agreed with a sentiment Karen 1 had voiced. It took all I had to keep the thought in my mind, but luckily my chance to put these two ninnies in their place came before my stop. The woman seemed satisfied with their goal of alienating more than half of the passengers on the bus and shifted their discussion to weather predictions. It was my time to shine. Karen 1, it was over 12 years ago that this happened, so I remember the two as a unit, so it may not have been the same Karen who spoke before. I'm just using Karen 1 and 2 for simplicity's sake. The weather network said it was going to rain today. Karen 2 says, "Oh, well CP24 said it should be sunny all day. They did say there was a chance of rain tonight, but it was low." And then I say, "Sorry to overhear, but I thought you may want to know that it's definitely going to rain." Karen 1 or 2, I don't know. "Oh, where did you see that?" I didn't. See, I was born with juvenile rheumatoid arthritis, and people with rheumatic diseases tend to be able to feel barometric pressure shifts in our joints. My legs are just killing me, so I can be reasonably sure we are getting rain. Anyway, don't forget your umbrellas, just to be on the safe side. As luck would have it, the bus had reached my destination at that point. Me continuing my conversation with very little to no pause between this comment and the last. "Well, have a great day, and I hope you don't get caught in the rain." A sentence I then punctuated by getting up slowly, which was legit, and somewhat slowly limping my way to the front of the bus and out the door. I took a bit of extra time to climb down the bus too, which was also legit, mostly. I may have taken it a little slower than usual just to ensure my safety and, you know, twist a metaphorical knife in that wound just a little. My hope was that I taught him a valuable lesson in invisible illnesses. Thank you so much for sharing that story, and I hope you taught them a lesson too. But let's face it, we're talking about Karens here, so keep up the good work, my friend. Our next story is from Even Reptar is Snaky. I hope I got that name right, I don't even know what it means. Now I'm not going to lay hands on him, but I will say to stuff him. Mobile disclaimer, I love your narrations, Daddy Mark, and I share your love of thick thighs. Also picked a sort of random flair, I'm sorry, but it kind of fits. Anyways. I used to work at a sketchy call centre. It paid crazy well, and for good reason. It was the only thing keeping people around. The hilarious people you talk to was a plus, but more on that in a bit. Let me paint you a word picture first. The work itself, as described in the job posting, seemed fair enough. Call centre, help people find employment, $13 an hour, happy hours, crazy vending machines in a game room. Sounded too good to be true. And it was. Yes, you help people find jobs. Kinda. The company, let's call it SCC, Sketchy Call Centre, bought ad space on Google to advertise the job postings. They basically took advantage of technology illiterate people, the ones who would just type in Walmart online application into Google. SCC's ad would be first on top. The applicant would fill out a quick name, number and email section, and then boom, SCC's number pops up. They call, I answer. I walk them through a BS script that basically sends them emails with random job postings, not specifically what they asked for, and then it was onto the scam. I basically pushed them to sign up for predatory for profit colleges. I hated it, it felt scummy as all hell, and noped out several months in, even after getting promoted to interviewing for the company itself. So with that out of the way, what made the days worth it were the colourful characters we talked to. They fell into 3 categories. Done with our shit. They still hadn't figured out how to apply online and kept getting stuck in this trap. We weren't the only SCC. I had a thick skin, but these ones brought me to my breaking point of asking for a manager. One even made me cry. 2. Oh, so you have a hand in the hiring process. Spoiler alert, no. But that didn't stop them from detailing their entire work history. I tried to stop them, but this kinda would bulldoze the conversation. I once spent 30 minutes listening to a woman's theatre experience when she was applying for Home Depot. 3. My secret favourite because it was so embarrassing. The flirt. It's demeaning, yes. No one wants to feel objectified because they sound cute. But this one call in particular made my day. It's been 7 to 8 years and I remember it as clear as day. His name was Victor. Towards the end of the call. I said, okay, well thanks for calling in. Have a great day. Victor says, oh, off so soon? I say, yeah, I gotta get back to work. Do you have a man? I do actually. Oh, shucks. Well, does he treat you good? I say, he really does, I promise. Well, okay, but you tell him Victor said he better treat you right. Now, I'm not gonna lay hands on him, but I will say stuff to him. He better take you out to Applebee's and buy you flowers every day. Gotta appreciate your girl, man. Gotta appreciate your girl, okay? You got it, hun. The weird course can make the worst call center jobs worth it, for sure. Who chats up call centers? Come on. Gotta appreciate your girl, though. Thank you very much for sharing that story. It made me cringe internally. Our next story is from Hannah Hatter. Guy tries to buy my dog for $1, then tries to steal her. This isn't the usual parent tries to take service dog type story. My dog's too stupid to be a service dog, and this wasn't a parent, as far as I know. So I thought it'd be a nice different story. So, I go to my local dollar store a lot. They know me by name. I have a favourite cashier, Nancy. Not her real name. We talk about how our lives are going. She never met my family, but she gave me a card to give to my sister for her birthday, and I gave her daughter-in-law a card as congratulations for her baby. I know where everything is, etc. Another frequent customer is my dog, Stella. She's my sweet little black pointer mix, who's kinda stupid, but in the best way. She likes to be in the car, but she doesn't like to ride in them, and she likes to go in the store with me, but she's very shy. She's never been properly trained, but she's extremely well behaved in stores. The only issue she's ever had is pulling on the leash and snapping at other dogs, so she wears a harness and isn't allowed in PetSmart. Now, everyone who works at the dollar store knows Stella too. She likes to go and get a new cheap toy she's allowed to tear apart. Her favourite thing is to rip out squeakers, and Nancy keeps dog treats behind the register just for her. And of course she gets a lot of pets and butt scratches every time she goes from other customers. She's a good girl. So one day we went to the dollar store as normal. I was getting my assortment of junk I don't really need, but I get regularly. Stella got a new toy that was just one big squeaker wrapped in cloth and some treats to help her teeth. After about 15 minutes of chatting with someone about dogs and about 40 altogether minutes of shopping, probably more, I can spend 10 minutes alone picking out a cheap candle. I really had to pee. Too much coffee, I suppose. The problem was, Stella has a problem with toilets. Not sure why. I think it's the flushing noise, just makes her shake, and I couldn't take my stuff into the bathroom anyways. So, Nancy let me tie her next to the register while I went in. When I came out, there was a man standing at the cash register arguing with Nancy. I came over and I could hear what he was saying. The entitled man said, "Don't you get it, you old hag?" Nancy was about 60. "I want the dog." Nancy, flustered, "Sir, she isn't for sale. She doesn't belong to the store." He said, "Well, she can't belong to you, so she must be for sale." Me taking Stella's leash and being tied around the handle of a locked drawer. She was freaking out. "She belongs to me, sir. She doesn't like to go to the bathroom, so Nancy was watching her for me." The entitled man smirks at me and pulls out his wallet, holding up $2. "Then you can sell her to me. Here." He had the money out to me as I tightened my grip around Stella's leash. I said, "I'm not selling my dog. Even if I was, it wouldn't be for $2. The entitled man rolls his eyes. "You're in a dollar store. $2 is to cover tax. You can keep the rest. I want the dog. She'd make a good hunting dog." I said, "No, I don't care. She's my dog. She's not for sale, and she doesn't belong to the dollar store." The entitled man, now angry. "Then just give her to me. You don't need a service dog. Just look at you." Stella was getting scared now. She was hiding behind my leg now, shaking. I had to take her home, or else I had to carry her out. Stella wasn't a small dog either, so I'd either have to take my stuff I was buying, or her. I wouldn't leave her alone to be scared, just to make 2 trips to my car. I said, "No, she's not a service dog, she's not a hunting dog, and she won't be your dog. She's my dog and you're scaring her. Now leave us alone." He then reached out and grabbed my wrist, trying to wrench Stella's leash from my hand. I had the end loop through my wrist, so he couldn't pull it out of my hand. Through his pull-in, and his grip hurt like hell. I said, "Stop it, leave me alone," and I tried to pull my hand away, but he wouldn't let go. He said, "Give me the dog, you little bitch. You don't need her. I'll call the police and tell them you stole her." Everything was getting out of control. I could hear people yelling. Stella was whimpering, and all I felt was pain. I didn't know in the second, but I was crying. I always cry when I get really angry. I started trying to beat on his hand with my fist to get him off, but I'm not that strong. That was when I saw him reach into his pocket and pull out a pocket knife, trying to cut Stella's leash. I screamed "knife" to try and get more attention. Finally, 3 employees were able to yank him off me. Though him being pulled back with the knife position where it was when he was trying to cut the leash was sliced, just due to the force. I fell back on my butt and Stella crawled onto my lap, still shaking. He growled and reached down, grabbing Stella around the neck. She yelped and bit him hard, making him yell more and smack her nose. I smacked his hand away and rubbed Stella's neck, still crying as I held her close. The entitled man had stopped trying to grab my dog, but no one was trusting him, so they used some zip ties as temporary handcuffs, and his knife was taken away while the police were called. Nancy let me hide behind the register while I calmed Stella down. They would have let me sit in the back, but one of the workers in the back was allergic to dogs apparently. When the police came, the man looked confident and tried to convince him that the dog belonged to him. He was spinning a tale of how Stella was just sitting there waiting for him to get done shopping, when Nancy told him he had to pay to get the dog back because she wanted to give her to me instead, because I was her daughter. Of course, everyone who was there regularly knew better, and between eyewitnesses and the security tapes, the man was put in handcuffs. I was asked if I wanted to press charges and said no. I didn't care what happened to the guy, I just wanted to get home and get Stella calmed down. I did say that if Stella was seriously hurt, I wanted to pay for any vet bills. She was okay, just scared, and asked for a new leash paid for by him. The police took entitled man away, and he was banned from the store after giving me the $2 he was going to use to buy my dog, to buy her a new leash. Nancy let us sit behind the register a few more minutes before I paid for my things. Got them all half off, except Stella's toys and treats, which were free, and took my poor puppy home. She now has ripped all the cloth of the toy and tore the squeaker in half, and has seemed to have forgotten the event. Here's the obligatory photo of my puppa. I give full permission for it to be shown to the world, and for my story to be read by Mark Narrations. Holy shit! Who tries to take people's pets? Who does this? People... The world is a scary place. That's why I just like sitting in my little man cave and hiding from the world. People will just take shit off you these days. Thank you so much for writing that story, and what a beautiful dog. Our next story is from Power Struggle 55. I'm literally dying, and Karen of a teacher calls me a liar. Most of the story took place 21 years ago, but it's still fresh in my head as if it happened yesterday. Backstory, I'm mentally disabled. I'm not autistic, though for years it was assumed I was high on the spectrum. but several years ago it was discovered I likely had a different disability. For most of my school years, I went to several schools for kids with learning disabilities. I actually spent 4 wonderful years at a wonderful elementary school, but then came middle school and possibly the 3 worst years. In this program I was assigned one teacher for all 3 years who taught all the basics: math, history and English, etc. For purposes, let's call her Mrs. Karen or Mrs. K. I had heard of students who transferred to avoid her. She was that mean. I hear stories of entitled teachers, but sometimes I think Mrs. K takes the cake. She'd give me lunch detention and in school suspension so frequently as if it was part of the curriculum, and mostly for absolutely no reason. Usually I was the one who felt her wrath the most. I was a pretty good student. I've been told I was an excellent reader, better than most in any classes. I actually loved going to school. I always had a smile on my face unless Mrs. K made my life miserable. On a field trip to the beach, I got lunch detention right there on the spot, all because I had gotten wet. It wasn't my fault. We were told we could put our feet in the water, but the waves were a little harsh and lost my balance several times. She didn't care, she just put me in lunch detention right away. I was, and sometimes still, very emotional, so cried. Mrs. K didn't try to make things better. No, she made things worse by taking a photo, knowing full well what it was of. Then she put it in the yearbook, so there is an embarrassing photo taken by a teacher and put in by the teacher. On several occasions, she'd tell me that I needed to lose weight. I was a little overweight, but it wasn't that bad, plus, not her business. Plus she would remind me how crooked my teeth were and need braces, which I eventually did. Now for the main story. Cast M, me, duh, Mrs. K, the evilest teacher ever, MM, my mum, D, my dad, aka both the best parents anyone can have. In February of 1999, I was a handful of months away from graduating and getting away from her. I all of a sudden had a stomach pain. I figured it was a stomach virus, as I've had it plenty of times. I went to her and told her I was feeling sick. I said, "Excuse me Mrs. K, I'm not feeling well. Can I call my dad to pick me up?" She said, "No, you're probably faking it to get out of school early." It was maybe 12:30. I said, "I'm not, my stomach is really bothering me." She said, "If you were sick then, why did you go to school?" Looking back, I wish I'd responded with, if I was faking, I'd want to lie before school started, not 2 hours before it ended. She wasn't giving in, and my stomach was really bad. After a while, she eventually said, "Fine, call your dad." I think she only agreed just to shut me up. My dad worked 10 minutes or so away, but I went to school 30 minutes away from home, so if my dad did pick me up, he'd miss over an hour of work. My dad said, "Sure, no problem, I'll pick OP up." Sure enough, my dad got me and took me home so I could rest. My dad was the best, so of course he didn't mind. He knew I was never the kind of person to fake being sick. I knew I was 100% sick, so kept it easy for the rest of the day. Then came one hell of a morning. I woke up suddenly at maybe 6 AM. The stomach pain was gone, but in its place was something way worse. It was a stabbing pain on my lower right side. It was nothing I ever felt before. I got up out of bed to my parents' room to wake them. They were trying to get more sleep, as he had to get ready for work soon, and she had to get ready to open her home daycare. I walked in to let them know how I felt. "My side is killing me," and I wasn't kidding. Now my parents are not the kind to jump to conclusions, but they still keep it safe. My mum said, "Try sleeping it off." At that point, we all might have thought it was a super stomach virus or something, so I agreed to go back to bed. I wasn't going to school that day anyway, as I was sick the day before, but I couldn't sleep. I tossed and turned as the pain was too much for anyone to handle. To this day, worst physical pain I've ever had by a long show. So I went back to their room not even 15 minutes later. I said, "My side is still killing me." My dad said, "I think it might be best to take him to the emergency room just to be safe." My mum said, "Good idea, he never complains for nothing." My dad got up and we made the 5-minute drive to the emergency room. We live close to 2 hospitals, each within 5 minutes of us. After several tests like x-rays, urine tests, etc., I was then prepped for an emergent appendectomy. Doctors told me my appendix was bad, like if I waited longer, might have burst. My mum then first chance, she gave Mrs. K a piece of her mind, calling out for calling me a liar the day before, when in all 3 years she had me, I never faked an illness to get out of school early. Mrs. K said, "I'm sorry, I don't know what happened afterwards. I spent 3 days in hospital, and luckily had the week after off anyway, for winter break, so I had 2 weeks to recover before heading back, which Mrs. K apologised to me. I did get a little revenge as one day I lost it. Behind closed doors gave her a piece of my mind for how she treated me for the last 3 years, the detentions, the in-school suspensions, the insults, etc. I can't remember her reaction, but I'm sure it shocked her as I never got into trouble for my outburst. As I said, this happened a few months ago before graduation, so I'd never had to deal with her again the following school year. She will retire the year after I graduated, so not many more students had to endure her. For those thinking I am overreacting, my parents agree with me and think she is horrible at her job and she shouldn't be teaching special needs students. Plus again, some students transferred to avoid her, so it wasn't just me. I don't know if my mum ever reported her for anything, but she never got in trouble that I know of. Wow. The last few stories we've been reading, there's loads of these teachers that just, some sort of power trip, man. I don't know what it is, why they get this into their heads. Surely you go into teaching to help. I know you're going to teaching for money, reason number one, right? But you go into this profession to help children. So I don't know what twists them to make them like this. I'm sorry you had to go through that, OP. Wow. What do you guys make of that story? I know some of you had teachers like this, but tell us again in the comments below. Our next story is from Ali299NB. Parent believes they know everything and are correct all the time. This is my first post on this subreddit, so obligatory on mobile stuff. Anyway, hi Mark/Daddy Cringe. Hi, I'm a massive fan of your channel and I've been listening to you constantly. So anyways, hi and I hope you like it. So I'm FTM, female to male. When I was younger, I thought I'd ease my mother into it, so I'd say I'm into girls. My mother is very conservative. She still doesn't believe me after 6+ years. She said to me on my birthday, I quote, she said, "I know why you're gay." And I said, okay, why? Because your father abused you, so you don't like men now. You just haven't found the right man yet. I shit you not, she actually said that. Further on down the line, I decided to buy myself a packer as I was socially out as a male. She found out that I had ordered something. She waited until I went upstairs with the package. I'd put it in my closet after inspecting it. I had went into my bed to go to sleep. She stormed into my bedroom and demanded to see what I had bought. Me being half asleep and not wanting an argument, pointed to my closet. She opened my closet and grabbed my packer. She just started laughing. She threw it back in the closet and left laughing. She never gives me any privacy. She never uses my pronouns. Like she walks in on me showering or the toilet. Her excuse is, I birthed you. This is on a regular basis. She gaslights me, e.g. I had my phone on silent like I always did. I told her I'll be home by a certain time. She phoned me 5 times. I phoned her back and she starts screaming at me saying she would take my phone away because I pay for the phone. You answer your phone when it's not me. She also does the shitty thing of downplaying my emotions. When I was roughly around 7 years old, I tried to die. Had a dog choker collar around my neck and had given the dog the lead. You can guess where this is going. She saw me when I was midway through and she took it off me and told me to stop attention seeking. I tried multiple times after that to die and she still calls it attention seeking. I've been diagnosed by a doctor and a psychiatrist with severe depression that's hard to remedy. I'm on antidepressants for it. She says everyone gets depressed every now and again, no need to attention seek. I've been diagnosed with anxiety and depression, also paranoia. She still believes that I'm attention seeking and that I'm trying to make her look like a bad mother. Going further into the FTM thing, her and her family tell me that I'm selfish for coming out because I didn't think about how everyone else would feel. It's been over 6 years since I came out and she still says I'm selfish for coming out. She's also incredibly clingy. She even said that if I move out, she'll move in with me and live with me forever, even if I'm married. I haven't even told her I'm engaged yet. I'm honestly scared to. P.S. Sorry for this being too long. I'm just venting. I find it very therapeutic to just vent sometimes. Thanks y'all. Edit. I'm 18, female to male, and my mother is a 46-year-old female. I find these stories incredibly hard with you being so young, you know. I try to resist giving advice because I'm no professional, you know, but that mother has got some fucking issues, man. You know, it's your life, you be what you want to be. I struggle to know what to say to these things because, you know, if I was in that situation, I'd be out there the soonest I can, you know. Even if she does threaten to move you, she needs to understand your position, respect it, or piss off, one or the other, you know what I mean? But yeah, if you ever just need to vent some more, our Discord is open. We've got some very open, friendly people in our Discord channel, and I'm sure they'd be able to help you as well to talk to them. So, you know, it's always there. You can message me anytime you like if you just need to vent. The option's always there, you know. Much love to you. So as we said, we're going to have some stories read by our community. Whereas some of our community members may be voicing the EMs, the EKs, or maybe the whole stories as well. I hope you enjoy them. There's a bit of a mix of audio quality, so you have to bear with us. It's meant to be just a fun thing, nothing too serious here. So we hope you do enjoy them. And if you do, don't forget to leave them a comment below, because they've worked really hard with this, especially Zero's Wolf, who kindly got all these audio files together and organized everyone and really helped me out. So thank you so much. The story is by C. Zansel. Kid thinks my airsoft gun is cool, which means I'm making him a terrorist. The OP will be voiced by Sky, the kid voiced by Devin, and Karen by Zero's Wolf.
Okay, so I'm on mobile, English is not my first language, blah blah blah. Cast, EM, enormous mammoth. K, kid, EM sum, cool kid. So a little background, I moved to a new place a few weeks ago with my family. I have a smaller collection of airsoft guns that I like to shoot in my backyard. One of those guns is an AK-47. The house next to ours gives home to a wild EM and her offspring. So a few days ago I had a pretty bad day and I went out to shoot some targets, cardboard boxes, to let out some steam. In EM's yard, Kay was playing around on a trampoline. He saw me shooting and came to the fence. This conversation followed.
Wow, that's a gun?
Sort of. Insert me explaining what an airsoft gun is.
That's cool. My mom would never let me have one of those.
If she is alright with it, you can come over and shoot it.
Really? Cool. I'll ask her when she gets home.
Alright. So I went back to shooting with Kay watching me. When I was done, I went back and cleaned the gun and put it away. Half an hour later, someone knocked on the door. I opened it and it was a middle-aged woman. Pretty short and skinny, with the OG Karen haircut.
How dare you teach my son terrorism, you Muslim fuck!
This part is hard to translate. My language has a huge selection of swear words, so sorry if it doesn't make sense. Excuse me, but who are you?
I'm the mother of the child you want to ruin!
Sorry, but I have no idea what you're talking about. Are you the mother of Kay?
Yes.
Alright, please calm down. I was shooting my airsoft gun in the backyard, and he thought it was cool. So I offered him a chance to shoot it, if you are cool with it. If you're not, that's okay, but I didn't ruin him.
You did! Why do you have a gun anyway? That's illegal!
It's not a gun. Insert me explaining what an airsoft gun is, once again.
Why are you shooting a gun here? You could have shot Kay!
It's just an airsoft gun.
Don't you dare raise your voice at me! You are just a stupid teen and I'm an adult! You have to do what I say! Throw that thing out now!
You are not my mother and you have no right to tell me what to do. I just wanted to be nice to Kay, but okay, I won't let him shoot it. But you can't tell me what I can or cannot do in my own backyard. Bye! And I slammed the door shut. She was knocking for some time after that, but evidently she left. That's my story. And now that I'm finished typing this, the realization hit me that I have to live next to that woman for years. Also, whoever comments how many times I wrote airsoft gun gets bragging rights. Edit. Wow, thanks for the gold, kind stranger. Edit 2. I'll answer a few questions a lot of you ask in the comments. I'm from Hungary and I speak Hungarian and English. Where I am from, owning an airsoft gun and shooting it in my backyard is absolutely legal. I'm 17 years old.
This story is by Potato the Great, 1985. Kid takes RC car on joyride. The OP is played by Ross and the EM by Sashiko. So me and a couple of other friends race remote control cars on the weekends. Every now and then, some kids will stop and watch, then leave. Nobody ever really comes in to ask to try or to see one of the cars, because everyone sort of understands that this stuff is expensive. For some reason, the entitled mum and entitled kid walk up and into the pit area. I'm on the driver's stand driving my brand new gas car, trying to get the thing tuned straight. EK and EM walk over to me, and so I stop to say hi.
Hey there.
Hi, can my son try?
No, these are really expensive. I just bought this one and it was like $500.
Oh, come on, it's just a toy.
No, it may look that way, but these are really professional.
EK grabs the remote from me and jams on the accelerator. I was parked at the beginning of the straightaway, so when he jammed on the gas, the car was going upwards between 60 to 70 miles per hour, shoots down the straight and nails the wall. Immediately I jump onto the track, which you're not supposed to do unless everyone stops, and pick up the car. The damn thing hit so hard it bent the fucking carbon fiber chassis. The car was broken beyond repair. I tell EM she needs to pay for the damages.
It's just a toy. Buy another one.
She then proceeds to storm off. My friend saw this quickly and shut the exit door and locked it. Realising there was no way out, EM counts about $50 and storms off. There's no way she'll pay up for it, so I don't care. I bought a new one after about 3 months, and now here we are. Our next story is by GW Joel. Entitled Kid Tries to Ruin My Game Session. We end up beating him and his parents get on the mic. Evan is played by Ross. Joel, the OP, is played by Elcrid. Karen is played by Sashiko. I hope I got your name right. Forgive me if I didn't. And Lee is played by Devin.
Alright, so for a little bit of context, me and my friends were in a video game session. All our other friends had left, so it was just 3 of us. Until this kid joined the server. Let's call him Evan. You could just tell by the way he was stacked weapon-wise with exclusive items that he was a spoilt little brat. Now, in said game, there are private rooms that you need to pay a lot of money for access in, and my friend, who we will call Jay, saved up a lot of money and bought one of these, and we were all there just playing around. Although they are private rooms, it doesn't mean you can't be killed, and Evan had some very powerful weapons and spanned them in the room. Since they were explosive, we all died. This is where the last of our group enters. Let's call him Lee. He was really good at the game, and I mean he nearly had all of Evan's stuff without paying a penny. Evan carried on launching projectiles towards us. Now, let's get on to the conversation.
Should we team up on him?
Me. Yeah, let's take him on as a 3-man group. Jay, as he is very good at sniping.
Okay, I stay back while you two rush forward.
Long story short, we end up destroying the little kid, and he joins the game chat saying,
"Stop killing me!"
Well, maybe you should have thought about what happens when you do it to us.
Okay, I'm telling Mommy.
All 3 of us were over here. Oh no. Oh no. We didn't think he was actually going to get his mom, so he just went AFK as we played normally. But as you can read from the title, little Evan actually got his mom on the mic. And for namesake, her name's Karen.
Why are you bullying my angel?
Well, why is your angel bullying other people on the server?
What? My angel would never do such a thing.
Well, quite clearly, he did. I have it screen recorded.
Same here.
What? How could you when I've been watching this whole time?
Me laughing. The whole time is about 3 minutes to you then?
Not the half an hour Evan has been on our server.
Yes!
Lee just sent her a clip of everything and she was dumbfounded.
That's not Evan. It's you.
Then why does it say Booty Slayer 69? Obviously not his real name. That'd be funny as hell.
That's your name, isn't it?
I said no. Karen just left after that and we laughed all about it. Worst part is that the kid wrote down our names and messaged us after for hours on end until we blocked him. I'll update y'all if anything happens. I mean, that was pretty fun. I remember playing with little toxic, sniveling brats like that. Yeah, that's fun.
Anyway, guys, thank you once again for posting your stories on the r/daddycringe subreddit. It's always really appreciated. If you want your stories shared, you know where to post them on r/daddycringe, or the link is in the description below. Thank you once again for being here. If you did enjoy these stories, don't forget to hit that like, that subscribe, and maybe that notification bell. And I will see you in the next one. Much love now.